G'day viewers, it's the end of another week, so it's time for Totally Fucked Up Friday, where I provide you with just a little bit of evidence that the world really is totally fucked up. Now this story I'm going to start with is kind of two stories rolled in one. The first half a lot of people suggested to me last week and I almost used. When it was Cinco de Mayo, 5th of May, big day for Mexicans. Over in the US, in one particular school, about half a dozen students were sent home because they were hanging out together wearing American flag t-shirts and American flag bandanas. Now a lot of people said, well, wasn't that totally fucked up? I said, well, you know, seriously, I looked at the story and I thought, I'm going to just lay a bet those kids were assholes who were deliberately trying to cause trouble, but it still stunned me that the school sent them home. How stupid would you have to be to not know the sort of blowback there would be from that? I mean, unless these kids had a history of being sort of violent and aggressive, or the school's Mexican students had a history of being violent and aggressive. See, I don't know all the details, but on the surface, I'd guess kids doing that are assholes, and their parents are assholes who encourage their kids to be assholes, and the school was particularly clueless in sending them home because unless there was like a riot imminent, there's nothing but bad publicity for them in this. But anyway, I almost went with that, but didn't. But I thought it was an interesting story. Then what happened with a lot of people reacting to it, one of the just most pithy, eloquent reactions I read about it was film critic Roger Ebert said on his Twitter stream that students who wear the American flag on Cinco de Mayo should be forced to sit next to kids who wear a hammer and sickle on 4th of July. I thought that summed it up. It's just being obnoxious for the sake of being obnoxious. And also, rather predictably, when Ebert said this, he got a real backlash from conservative flag wavers, and some in particular that were singled out were Tea Party members. One in particular was a blogger on a prominent conservative blog, and they said mean things to Roger Ebert. They didn't just say they disagreed, they attacked him for his cancer and the disfigurement. He said, for those who don't know, Roger Ebert had his jaw removed to treat cancer, and he looks more than a little unusual as a result of this. And now one guy in particular was called out for saying just pretty mean things about Ebert and his cancer and dying, and a whole bunch of sort of left-wing bloggers and columnists and whatnot went, oh, isn't that typical of the Tea Party? I made no secret of the fact that I think the Tea Party is dominated by fuckwits, and they're dominated by racists, and they're dominated by morons who deliberately spout lies. And the ones who aren't deliberately spouting lies are fucking morons who don't know they're being lied to. But I take exception to people saying, oh, isn't saying those mean things typical of Tea Partiers? No, it fucking isn't. It's typical of people. People are assholes. And there is always someone who go the low blow on their opponent. There are always people who say to me, because I swear, oh, isn't that typical of a leftist? So foul-mouthed. Fuck you. There's a heap of people on the left who are really affronted by swearing and would like to take steps against me swearing. And there's a fuckload of people on the right who swear like troopers. The actions of one person aren't typical of one particular religious or political or social subset. It's fucking typical of people. People are assholes. Stop blaming one subset for the action of one person. You know, it's like saying, because the Globe's a male, it's typical of males. It's like, it's just accurate to say it's typical of fucking humans, okay? Now with this next story, I'm going to lead in by saying I've never been one to let it all hang out, as it were. You have to be a rather special friend of mine for me to have my tackle out around you. Or just an unfortunate accident. There was that one incident, but the community service order has been fulfilled, okay? So there's no need to go on about it. No, in this case, I'm talking about a Canadian tourist in New Zealand who'd been doing a bit of nude swimming and then fell asleep in the sand dunes, nude. Guess where he got bitten? Guess. Nude. Okay, you've got filthy minds. It was nothing dirty. He was bitten on the penis. Yes, he woke with a start to find that his penis was swollen, painful, with a bite mark on the shaft. He was bitten by a venomous spider, and the neurotoxin, apparently, I shouldn't be laughing because he complicated things, went to his heart, and he became one of the first cases to have this heart inflammation caused by the bite of this spider. Lucky him! The spider's called a catapo, which, as you'll see from the photo, is clearly related to the North American black widow or the Australian redback. Except it's lamer than a redback, like everything in New Zealand that they copy off Australia. Oh, enraged comments start in 3, 2, 1, now. Which is, of course, just a joke, and Kiwis can take a joke, even if they can't take the fact that we invented Pavlova! Losers! Although I do like how this story did not play into the obvious stereotype and his penis was not bitten by a sheep. I didn't even know they had venomous spiders in New Zealand. Now I discover they have one, and it's got a thing for biting you on the penis.